Hello friends, and welcome back to my channel. Today I thought it would be fun to do a few things together. So number one, I would like to show you what my Hobonichi Weeks is currently looking like. I've got it in this traveler's notebook cover. I got the Love and Trip edition earlier this year. I'm pretty sure I have some unboxing footage somewhere, but she looks kind of beat up right now. So number one, going to show you what my Hobonichi Weeks is looking like. Number two, have a bit of a catch up on some of my reading goals over the year, since this is a place where I do keep track of some of them, including a fun one that I've added to this year, which is the bingo board from hell, which is inspired by literary diversion. So that's been super fun. And then the last thing is I would like to show you which planners I am considering purchasing for next year. So I have a little bit of a dilemma on whether or not I should buy the regular Hobonichi Weeks or the Weeks Mega. So if you guys could let me down below what your thoughts are and which one you recommend for me, please do let me know once we get there. So first up, this is what my Hobonichi Weeks is currently looking like. She's getting a little bit thick because at the beginning I have added some washi tapes and I do have some stickers. I've got my tabs on the side. Here we are. I love these stickers at the front and they're holding up quite nicely. I haven't really used this page much. I think I should, like, you know, highlight some birthdays or things over here, but haven't really used this much at all. So here I've been documenting some of my holiday times and then savings. I did see someone else use this as like a reading tracker, which I think is quite smart. So I might reconsider how I use this page for next year. I'm not sure just yet. I also think I could use this space a bit more. So we'll see. Then I do have my months, which I do use a little bit of washi tape to decorate each month, and then I just have my major events. Probably not going to show you the current month but yeah, I think it's very cute. And for the weeks, I've had a pretty standard layout of just planning specific to-dos on specific days, like things I kind of have to do that day, events, and then just weekly tasks. And this has been working really well throughout the whole journal. I think eventually I stopped drawing that one little line down the side, but overall she's been getting used very well. There's only been a couple of weeks, I'd say, where I haven't used her as much as I could. And let's turn to the back where I have my notes, and this is where I keep track of my goals. So the first spread I have are my ins and outs for the year. So let's just go through them and see how I've actually been doing. I have been creating more and doing one thing at a time. I could do a little bit more in terms of reflecting on my gratitude. My no-buy did not go well every single month. I might make a separate video on that. I have been junk journaling a bit more in holiday times. Haven't done much crochet. I have been writing more. I've been writing quite a bit of poetry, and I started a Substack, which is really fun. I've been reflecting on this a little bit more, and my Berry Cozy Pages Co business is going well. Slowly but surely she's getting there. So that's my small little shop where I post spreadsheets. So if you'd like to check that out, I'll leave a link down below. I have been going to the gym more, and I think I've been a little bit braver. This impulse buying has happened on occasion, but I am trying to be more mindful for the rest of the year, especially as we get closer to the holiday season. And this is also kind of why I wanted to ask your guys' opinion on which journal I should get for next year. Phone in bed, that one I've been a little bit bad with because I go between houses quite a bit, my house and then my partner's house. When I'm at home, I usually charge my phone here in my study away from my bed, but when I'm there, I kind of have to be super mindful to remember to put it somewhere else, and I've been forgetful. I have had a bit less sugar than last year and previous years, and I'm slightly less mean to myself, so that's good. These are some of my milestones so far. So these are a combination of Instagram, I started my Substack, YouTube milestones, which everything's going quite well. Everything's going up for the most part. This is how I keep track of my books read. So I've been doing this for a few years now. I used to draw little blocks and then you color in the blocks, but I found that quite tedious, and then you kind of have to predict how many books you think you're going to read, which sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. So this kind of more free form style of habit tracker I found really helpful. And I try to indicate to myself which books I own. So the books that have the little black outline are books that I physically own, and then the ones with a little arrow through them are rereads. So I have been doing a fair amount of rereads this year. Next, we have my 25 books in 2025. So I still have to read quite a few. Intermezzo, Carrie Soto, Starless Seed, The Descent, Psalm for the Wild Built, Chaos Walking, Emma, Little Women, City of Girls, Darker Shades of Magic, This Is How You Lose the Time War, When the Moon Hatched, Among the Beasts and Briars, Heart of Iron, The Nightingale. I have actually read The Secret History, so we can update that. Woohoo! House of Salt and Sorrows, Sourdough, and Book Lovers. So the ones that I have read, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 out of 25. That's not even half, so that's a bit bad. Do need to wait for the gel pen to dry, otherwise it smudges, which is kind of annoying. I needed to get new gel glitter pens, or metallic pens rather, so I ended up getting the Uniball Sigma collection, and I have a few loose Pilot Poplol gold pens because I do use the gold more than the other colors. I ended up getting this Noble Metal set, in case you were wondering which pens I use. Then here are some of the new releases I was anticipating. The only one I've actually read so far is Sunrise on the Reaping, but I DNF'd Onyx Storm, so I do still want to read Secret of the Wings, The Rose Bargain, The Sirens, Alchemy of Secrets, Medievally Blonde, and there are probably a few others I could add to this list, so I should update this before I show you guys again. This was my 2025 Buzzword Reading Challenge, which I can update a few of these as well. Let's do that. So I have read Big Little Lies. That's all I can think of off the bat, but I'd probably have to actually go through my Goodreads list to see if I have any more. But this is going quite well. I've got 6 out of 12, so halfway through the Buzzword challenge, and then I do also have the cover challenge. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5 of those. I probably have hit more, but like I said, would need to go and check on my Goodreads to do a proper update of this one. And then here we have my bingo board from hell. So if you have not seen Literary Diversions video on this, please do check it out. It's so much fun. So these are some of my goals for the year, and the goal is to try to get 3 in a row for bingo. And I haven't hit many of these yet. So, okay. My goal is to read 3 classics. As of the middle of the year, I've only read 1 so far. I wanted to read 10 Afrikaans books, but as of June, I hadn't read any. I have read some in quarter 3, so it's looking good for the end of the year, but I feel like 10 is probably too high of a goal. My series tracker, so not a first book in a series. This has to be like a continuation of a series. In quarter 1, I read 6, and in quarter 2, I read 15, which brings my total to 21. So I can actually color this one in. With that. And next, I had a goal to read 3 non-fiction books. I read 1 in the first quarter and 3 in quarter 2, so that brought my total to 4, which means I achieved this one. I'm not going to be changing these goals, like upping them throughout this year. I'm going to wait till the end of the year and then readjust for next year. But I think this is a really good way to reflect on some goals. 50 TBR 0 books, so that means books from my shelves. In quarter 1 I read 7, in quarter 2 I read 19, and that brings my total to 26. So that's over halfway, so that is looking good. That means I'm on track to meet this goal by the end of the year. I have a goal to read 3 French books, and so far I haven't read any at all. So bingo is not looking good so far. Then I have a goal to finish 15 series or read all the works of one author, so finish all the books. So in quarter 1 I read 3, and in quarter 2 I read 3, so that brings my total to 6. So that's less than halfway to that goal, so I need to try to finish some more series. So I will probably be doing another vlog at some time soon. I wanted to read at least 10 library books. And in quarter 1 I didn't read any, but in quarter 2 I read 7, so that means I'm almost there with that one. And then I wanted to read 10 TBR vets, so books that have been on my shelf or on my TBR for 3 or more years, and so far I've only read 1. So bingo is not looking good so far. Okay, so I do probably need to work on my language goals. I think I could definitely read quite a few more of these. Afrikaans is my home language, so I just need to make this part of my routine to actually read these. And I am in the middle of 2 French books, so if I can finish them and read 1 more, then I could meet this goal. So that would be good. And then I'm making videos predominantly for this. This one could look good, so I'm thinking maybe bingo this way. Hopefully gonna get that bingo. This one's probably looking good. So my goal is to get the whole board colored in, ideally, which is a lofty goal, but we'll see how we go. If you have this bingo board from hell and you're doing this challenge as well, please let me know down below and link me to yours. I'm kind of obsessed with watching these videos. They're really, really fun. Next, this is like a course that I'm doing, which I haven't really started yet, as you can see. And then we've got my book series tracker. So I just made this one today. It turned out a little messier than I would have liked, unfortunately. But I think I want to have some kind of way to indicate that I have actually completed a series. So, all right, let's do this. So I finished the Once Upon a Broken Heart trilogy this year. I read, or actually started, The Twisted Tales. This is by Disney. I finished the Tokyo Ever After books, so that was a duology. I continued Before the Coffee Gets Cold, and I started Love Light Farms, but I'm actually not really vibing with that, and this one is looking like a DNF, so I'm gonna do that. It Ends With Us. I read the first book and really enjoyed it, so I do want to read the next book as well. Then I did read the whole Hunger Games series again this year as a reread for me. And currently we are up to date with the Magnolia Parks universe, but she hasn't announced the release date for the next book, the next Daisy Hates book. So I'm gonna leave that one for now. I'm almost done with Divergent. I just have 1 more book to read. I've made some progress with Throne of Glass. I finished the Delilah Green trilogy. I don't remember what the proper name is for that series. I started The Maid, and I think I just have 1 more book left in that one. I finished Icebreaker, and I also finished the Gallagher Dream Department Store. That's a duology. I read the next book in the Bridgerton series, and The Wayward Children has too many books for me to draw all of them, but I have read the latest one, so I'm currently up to date with that one. Nevermore, I reread the first 3 books, and I just have 1 more book to read. I read the first Sarki book and the first book in the inheritance cycle, so I'm rereading that with my partner. So we're reading Aragon, currently reading Eldest. He's a bit ahead of me, so I need to catch up. I started reading the Lunar Chronicles, actually. I should have written that, but Cinder, so I read Cinder, and now I need to read the other books in that series. I read the first book in the Cities duology, that's actually what it's called. So yeah, that's pretty good, I would say. I've only used 20 of my notes pages, and in total, I think there's like 70 something. So I don't know, is it worth me getting the Mega, which has way more pages? I'm gonna go get my other planner and then see what I do in that I could switch to this one. So this is my journal. I do like monthly reviews where I write things that happened in the month. I do end up getting a little bit more creative with this because there's more space. I have my monthly highlights and gratitude. I do some reflections. I do like writing and content planning in here. And I think just because I have more space, I can be a bit more creative. So I do some poetry. This was when I did my shelf audit. If you haven't seen that video, it might not be up yet. But yeah, I do still like having both. I really do like having both, but I feel like I want to make this one more scrapbooky. I really like sticking things in, being a bit more junk journal-y with it. So if I can take out all of the kind of planning type things and put it in this one instead, it might be worthwhile getting the more pages. I don't know, what do you guys think? Do you have a weeks or a weeks Mega? Let me know what you guys do. And for the rest of the video, I'm going to switch over to my laptop so you can take a look at the planners I'm considering buying. Okay, hi, here's my face. And here is the Minimaru website where I'm trying to decide which Hobonichi to get. So I do know I want to get the Hobonichi Weeks. I just don't know which one. So I'm considering getting a Mega for the extra pages, but the cover options are quite limited. And next year I am getting, I'll show you, I think I had this open. I'm getting this teacher planner, which is going to be blue. All right, and then usually I kind of like having them match like a little bit. They don't have to, but it is just nice. I've got 2 journals from Notebook Therapy that I haven't used yet. I thought I would go through more journals this year. Usually I use at least 2 or 3 a year, but this year I haven't. So obviously been writing less. So this first one is the Sakura Moon, which is pink. Does the pink go with the blue? I think it has a little bit of pink in there, so this could be super cute. And then I do also have the Red Panda Friends for Life. This one is more brown, orangey. This one actually matches a bit better for this one. Okay, we might go with this one, actually. It is more of a vibe. Let me know down below which one you think is going to match this coastal connections, the panda or the Sakura Moon. Let me know. I was considering using this one for my work in progress, so the novel that I'm writing on, since this is kind of the aesthetic for that. So let me show you which Hobonichi Weeks I'm considering. All right, so if we're looking at the Megas, this one is quite cute. It is very cute. And the blue could match. So that is this one. It's very cute. It's got little forest animals on the cover. I think this is probably the cutest of the Mega options. Definitely this one. I was also maybe considering, like, the green is quite pretty. The blue or the pink could match if I was going to use the sakura, but then they would be like the same color. I don't know. This is a pretty blue. If you think I should get the mega, let me know if I should get the sky mist, the strawberry milk, or this one, which is called the bow and tie in the forest. And then for just the regular weeks, I was looking at the Yumi Kitagashi White Cat's Daily Life, because I do think she was the designer for the one that I have this year, and I really like this one, and it would match this whole layout as well. So I do quite like that. It's very, very cute. It's got little stamps. It looks kind of like stickers, which I do think is super cute. And then I was also quite liking the look of this one by Iyo Kumi, A Story About Me. So this is kind of like inspired by embroidery, which is very cute. And this could also go with the vibe. They're just also pretty. I don't know what to do, guys. Please help. Please let me know down below which one you think would go with the aesthetic. I don't know. Okay. If you watched up to here, thank you so very much for watching. Please leave a journal or a notebook or some kind of stationery emoji down in the comments below. And I will see you next time. Keep journaling, Inklings. Bye.